Hello, you're watching World Talks on TVP World. My name is Sasha Farbach. Now, Hungary is seeking a new financial and energy deal with the United States as billions in EU funds remain frozen over rule of law concerns. Well, Prime Minister Viktor Orbán's recent meeting with President Donald Trump in the White House secured a sanctions waiver and what officials call a protective financial shield for the economy, boosting the forint to a 1.5-year high. Now, let's discuss now what this could mean for Hungary's economy and its place in Europe with Hungary's former Foreign Minister Péter Balázs. Thanks so much for being on TVP World. Good to have you.
Good morning.
Let's begin with this particular financial deal. Is this a genuine lifeline for Viktor Orbán and Hungary, or is this more of a liability? What's really here on the table?
Well, it's a rather nebulous promise from the United States. We can identify it as a swap line, which is an operation between the central bank attack on a currency like the Hungarian forint. There is one precedent, what we know, between the United States and Argentine. But this is not what Orbán said after his visit in the White House, a relief for Hungary, a substitution for the suspended EU money or measures. This is not a cash inflow into the Hungarian budget. This is not replacing. This is just a promise that in case there is an attack on the Hungarian forint, then the United States could offer a technical help.
Mm-hmm. I mean, what it sounds like then is very much Viktor Orbán claiming this as a special deal, special victory for him. So is this really just going to help him in his campaign optics? So the genuine, real optics here is this is just a campaign ploy, it sounds like, not really the genuine relief that he thinks it is.
Very much so. So Orbán is under pressure because he was really afraid of applying U.S. sanctions because of purchasing Russian energy. And he got what he wanted from Trump, a promise, a waiver not to sanction Hungary because of the Lukoil and Rosneft connections. Nobody knows exactly what is the Orbán said it is without a delay, without a deadline, but the White House communicated that it would be only for 1 year. Anyhow, it doesn't concern in any form the objective of the European Union to cut all energy purchase lines from Russia before 2027. So this was one point. And in order to obtain that favor from the United States, Orbán promised some deals, as Trump likes to put it, some business in nuclear energy and armament production.
Mm-hmm. I'm also curious, I mean, you're a diplomat yourself. I mean, this is a very, let's say, a world where everything really matters by the words that we use and how we engage ourselves. If we're looking at Hungary's role right now, and Viktor Orbán, as you said, now selling this at home as a great success. At the same time, he's got this waiver now for maybe up to a year for sanctions relief. He's also saying he has a shield now from the United States. How much is that going to impact, potentially damage his already not so great relationship with the rest of the European Union and Brussels itself? I mean, this is going to embolden him more, or where does this leave that relationship?
Well, the fact is that after more than 10 months of Trump's entry into office, finally Orban was received in the White House. It was a bit surprising. He supported very strongly the re-election of Donald Trump, and well, people expected an early meeting. It didn't take place so far. Now, after 10 months, he could enter the White House. This was a working visit, a lunch meeting, as they call it in the White House, which means that some talks, press conference, and a working lunch at the same time in the same room, which is not the highest level of receiving a foreign guest.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very high price in Hungary to the public. At the same time, I don't think that it would be cheered in Brussels when Orban meets for the next time the heads of governments of the European Union.
At the same time, I mean, the opposition leader, Péter Balázs, has said from TISA, very much the person who's closest to trying to replace Mr. Orbán in the spring, has called this deal potentially secretive and unnecessary. I mean, however you look at this, how much is this going to impact those elections that are coming up in not so long distant future? Who's going to come out on top of this? I mean, they're both talking about this deal. How's it going to play out on the elections?
Well, Hungary is facing parliamentary elections next spring, most probably early April. And Orbán, for the first time since he returned to power back in 2010, is facing real challenger in the person of Péter Balázs, who is a new name, a new face in Hungarian politics with a new political party, the TISA party, which is rather successful. And according to last opinion polls, TISA is ahead by roughly 10% to Fidesz. Orbán is in great trouble, and he is doing everything in order to strengthen his position. What would be the impact of a meeting with Donald Trump? I would say very little, because people will vote about the food prices in Hungary, energy prices, of healthcare, which is in a very bad shape, the quality of education, of schools, again in a bad shape. Trains are stopping because the railways are in a bad shape as well. So this is what matters.
Right. So there are many issues there, as you mentioned there, that are on the forefront of any kind of political discussions. And I think we'll be watching closely on what happens there, and we'll see how much, if anything, there'll be more Trump involvement in Hungary. We'll certainly be looking out for that. Look, thanks so much. Really appreciate all those insights there. That was the former Foreign Minister of Hungary, Mr. Péter Balázs. Much appreciated.
You're welcome.
And thank you for watching. That concludes World Talks, but stay with us right here on TVP World for more. Thank you.